clap. So whilst you sip your tea and do your leg stretches or whatever, I wanted to show you this lovely book, which is The Tree of Yoga by BKS Iyengar. It's the sweetest little book, and thanks to Ike, he's kind of encouraged me to read it. And the chapters are only 1 or 2 pages long. It's like £6 secondhand. You can get in Oxfam and loads of places. And I thought over the next 8 weeks of the summer, we can go over the different aspects of the tree of yoga. So what do you think we're doing today if we're looking at the tree of yoga? The first thing that we're looking at is the roots. Exactly. And so the roots of yoga is the yamas, Y-A-M-A. And yama is how we behave, how we conduct ourselves with others. So it's kind of simple stuff, isn't it? If you think about what we do with a child, one of the things that we teach them, that doesn't matter if they're smart or whether they're good at sport or whether they're attractive child, the main thing is that they need to be kind to others and say please, say thank you. So this culturing and cultivating of positive human relationships is so important, whatever their capacity and whatever they end up doing in life, whether they're a postman or a lawyer. And so it's we're going to connect this idea of how we conduct ourselves, how we interact with others into our asana practice. So Iyengar writes within his book that all these different aspects of yoga, including our relationship with people, it can be learnt and cultured and cultivated within how we practice our yoga postures, which is pretty cool because at the end of the day, we don't really want to do ethics, we want to move our body. So press your hands down and sit up tall. All teas have been drunk. Relax your legs down and lift your chest up. So what are you cultivating in your posture right now? Relax the legs. Let your legs be like your roots, the base of the posture. Let them be passive. Connect them down towards the earth. And let the base of the sacrum release down to the ground. So we're not ready to spring up and run around. We have this stability here. And then from this stability, allow your spine to stretch up. Let it balance. Remember, a tree doesn't stay stiff in the sky. It's got a gentle sway. And next time you lean up against a tree, just notice how the whole trunk, well, some trees do it more than others, can have a gentle sway. So a great old oak or a yew tree, they don't sway so much. But see that each vertebra is balancing on top of the next. Let your spine not be rigid, but let it be stable and steady. Then roll your shoulder bones back and lift your chest. And feel that this lift in your chest is bringing a positive attitude and mood to your mind. Then fold your palms. Look inwards. And bow your head to your heart. Rest your hands down. Open your eyes to raise your head up. And stretch your legs forward, spread and opened up the backs of your knees. Let's come to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog posture. But we're going to work with a belt. So place your belt, make a buckle. And have your belt so that it's shoulder width apart on your elbows. So take your time to really work that out. On the elbows, shoulder width apart. So you almost need to hit your elbows out onto the belt to make sure that the belt is taut and the arms are shoulder width apart. So don't be too narrow there, Louise. So the collarbones still need to be broad. So this is going to be helpful, especially for Ike and Akiko and me, and I'm not sure of the others because I haven't seen your bodies so recently. Bit wider, I think, there, Alison, because what it does is it stops us from hyperextending the elbows, which actually is a violent action because it's taking the strain. So the foundation of aspect of the yamas is non-violence. So in our dog pose, we've got to make sure that there's no violence in any part of the body. And if we're pushing the elbows in, that's a violent action on the elbows, which we want to stop. So using the belt is going to help. So place your hands and stretch up. And for those of you like me and Ike and Akiko, it's going to feel like you're bending your elbows in order to keep the belt on the elbows. If you're stiffer in the arms, you might find the belt is helpful in firming the outer upper arm. And then bend your knees to come down. And we're going to go from Chaturanga Dandasana because I could see it was a bit uncomfortable, wasn't it? The truth was that was like, oh God, that was not comfy. That's what it looked like, which is fine. The truth is okay. So how are we going to do this? So what I want you to, how are we going to get this? I want you to get your measurement from your Chaturanga, so where your hands are, and then just come up and try and keep your awareness of that spot and place your hands back there because I want your feet and hands to be far away. Then bring your shoulders over the hands, firm the arms, press out into the belt and stretch up and back. So you got to lift up out of the belt. So stretch your armpits to lift up out of the belt. So get your measurement, hands by your armpits, Louise, and then that's it. So it's Chaturanga position, that's it. Then shoulders over the chaturanga position, like, you can do it. That's it. On the hands, very nice. That was clever. And then bring it onto your elbows. And then come into dog pose. So Sarah, make sure that you don't strain, that you come down when you need to, that you take support for your head if you need, that you I'm guiding your practice, but you're very much in control of what you're doing. So I lift your hips up. There, but try not to walk in. And then move your armpits towards your legs. A bit shorter in your stride there, Louise. Step forwards a little bit. And then everyone come down. And then just kneel or sit cross-legged. And we're just going to stay with this belt around the elbows for a little bit longer. So what happens when we go to Urdhva Hastasana? So this will be good for Akiko, because what happens when we stretch up is the belt hits our forehead. So facing me, kneeling or cross-legged, I don't mind. Palms face each other and stretch up. So if you don't maximum stretch up, the belt is on your forehead. So what I'd like you to do is to lift the armpits and take the belt over the head. A bit narrow there, Akiko. Yeah. That's it. Lift the armpits up. Lift the armpits, but draw the trapezius down. That's it, Alison. So it's the front of the arm goes up and the back of the arm comes down. See, Akiko? Lift up and relax the face. And come down. So this, I wish I had a vest on, but you know, this, I'm stretching up, but can you see that this is all collecting up? So this muscle, I'm stretching up, but the shoulder muscle has to come down, but I'm still stretching up as much. So this, can you see the difference? Just try that difference for yourself without the belt. Up and down. Up, that's it, and down. Up and down. Up, yeah, that's it, and down. Okay, and relax, you've all got that. So in the up position, we want to keep the up of the front, but draw down this part and this part. So I'm not going to take my shirt off, but I wish I could show you the muscles that so you go up and then they come down. So can you see this muscle here? Comes down. So stretch up and keep stretching up, but you're connecting the arm back into the shoulder socket and you're drawing this muscle, the trapezius muscle, down. Have a go. So that's it now. Stretch up. Now keep the stretching up and don't draw the whole lot down. Just draw the back of the arm down. And now try it with the belt. Sorry, this is not the theme of the class, but I just thought it was a very useful thing to learn because there's two of you who hyperextend your elbows. And we're trying to address truth here so that we don't leave out the parts of the body or the things which are out of balance. So that's it. So stretch up and then draw the trapezius down and feel that openness in your armpits and lift your face slightly. And breathe. Firm your triceps there, Akiko, the outer upper arm in. Yes, and bring your arms forwards and down. Excellent. So now we do our dog pose one more time. with the belt on the elbows. Because when we go into dog pose, if we don't stretch up, our face is stuck on the belt. But if we stretch up, we get the space. So the belt helps us to know whether we're actually lifting up. So have a go. Make sure you got a good long distance between your hands and feet when you go into dog pose. That's it. Now stretch up, open up those armpits like you did so well when we were sitting. But press those elbows out into the belt Ike. And move the dorsal in. Middle back in. So less with the chest and more with the middle back Ike. And everybody carefully come down and take the belt off and stand up. So if we're feet hip width apart, in a broad Tadasana, spread the soles of the feet. And now notice in this hip width apart Tadasana where your weight is. Is it on the left foot, the right foot? Can you, first of all, notice and then make an adjustment if your weight is just on one of the feet. And then notice perhaps your weight is on the outside of the feet and the big toes are very light. So bring your weight onto the big toes and big toe mounds. Notice where your weight is and bring an evenness as if you've got 3 points. 1, 2, 3, like a triangle. So the truth of how we're standing is to have all 6 points pressing evenly down. This is harmonious action. So let's go into our forward bend, but just make sure that your heels are slightly out because we're going to go forward. But still keep the weight on all those 6 points and stretch up and extend forwards and catch hold of the elbows and extend your arms and your trunk down, keeping all those 6 points evenly in contact with the floor and stretching your legs up and stretching your body down. And then notice what's the truth of what's happening right now. And it takes real courage to notice. And we can notice, first of all, the things that you can see. So with your eyes open, look at the flesh of your knees and are the kneecaps lifting? Look at your arches of your feet. Are they both lifting too? And what about the inner heels? And then see if you can use one of your other senses, like the feeling of the backs of the thighs spreading evenly and both sides of your waist lengthening down evenly. And then exhale, bring your hands to your hips and come up. Be in Tadasana with the feet together. Can you feel the center of your heels? And can you spread your toes? So be on the center of your heels and spread your toes so your big toes are together, but you're stretching out all the toes. So if I really look at the truth of my feet, my little toes are curled under. But there's nothing to be sad about. It's just to notice. So if you two have a toe that tends to curl under, or the big toes tend to stick with the first toe, pin the big toe and stretch out the little toes. And then try and keep that even spread as you come up to standing. And then notice, are my legs even, or are the knees pointing inwards and the shins out? So both Ike and I need to watch that the outsides of the shins go in more than most people and lift the thighs. But everyone needs to take those shins in a bit. And now feel that your legs are like the trunk of a tree, even, steady. Then Badanguli Asana, interlace the fingers, turn the palms and stretch up. In these symmetrical postures, feel how your body is even. Your breathing is even on the left chest and the right chest. And arms down, change the interlace, and again stretch up. That's really good there with your legs, Ike. I think it's a project for both of us, is to work on our bowed legs. And again, it's a Kiko a little bit as well. It's a positive area for growth rather than a pain and a disability. And then bring the arms down. And let's go into Trikonasana. So this is the kind of the discomfort of the path, is to be able to see where our growing points are and where we're potentially being a little bit blind or violent. So let's go into triangle pose now. So if you need a brick, put it on the back of your mat. So violent is a very strong word, but it can be just sort of neglect, really, can't it? And I think I've neglected my knees and my shins for many, many years. Can you see the legs? My legs are bowing out like that. So that's unhealthy. And the only reason why I'm noticing it now is because I hurt my knee last week when I was doing loads of mountain walking. And I realized that I need to take care of them and that non-violence is important. So let's do triangle pose. Watching the positioning of the feet. Bring your hands to your chest, bend your knees, step or jump your legs wide. So I'm still just stepping my legs wide at the moment. Reach your arms wide and then look to see that the hands are level with the shoulders. And then again, can you firm the back of the arm into the shoulder joint? So you're stretching the front, but you're contracting the back. Then turn the left foot in, turn the right leg out. Now, what's happened to the weight on your feet? What about those 6 points? Try to be clear with those 6 points, have them all pressing evenly, and then extend to the side, take your hand to your brick and stretch up. What do you experience? Where is the evenness and where is the unevenness? Come up. Other side. So if we notice unevenness, can we try to create evenness? So let's stretch this left arm, turn the right foot in, left leg out, stretch the left arm more so that we can lengthen the underside of the body so that it's then the same length as the top side of the trunk. So there's an evenness on both sides. And come up. Other side once again, right foot in, left leg out. So the non-violent action is to create an evenness on both sides of the body in this posture. It can be often like this, where this side is what we call in drought, and this side is in flood. So we want to have both sides long. So do that on the right side. Try to lengthen the underneath side and soften the top ribs down. Don't push them up. Soften them down towards the waist. Hand by your shin. Akiko, just bring the hand back a bit. And then come up, and the same on the other side. So do come out of the postures early, Sarah, if you need to. Do a standing forward bend at any time. And then stretch the arms wide, turn the legs. And then again, just focus 6 points of my feet. And then as you go into it, can I lengthen the side that I know is going to shorten? Can I lengthen that left side, which I know shortens when I go into it, so that there can be an evenness in the posture? Good. And come up. Turn your feet and join your legs. So the same is how we go about any action. We know what our tendency is, and we do our best to do it, to do whatever the action is, maintaining an evenness of mind. Easier said than done. Let's do Ardha Chandrasana and see if we can have balance and evenness of mind, even if we find it wobbly. Okay, so place your brick right over here on the back right-hand side of your mat. I'm going to move my mat so I've got more space. Now we're going to do this more for fun than for making the best pose we've ever done. Okay, so let's just get that clear. And then place this block right on that far right side. And then stand, and you're going to stand over to this side so that we go to triangle pose. And in order to make sure that this side of the body is really long, we're going to go from, so I'm going to move the block from here. We're going to move the block back to that spot on that far corner and then raise the thigh. So now see both sides of the body are even. And then move the brick back to come back and come up, and then we'll do it again. So it doesn't matter if you wobble or have to bring the feet down or anything. That's part of the practice, the growing of our tree. Arms wide, left foot in, right leg out. 6 points of the feet, center of the heels, spread the balls of the feet. Try not to cramp up those little toes. Let them stretch out too. Trikonasana. Now bend the knee and know where you're aiming. We're not just aiming for a little bit, we're aiming for that far corner. So hop your foot in, take your brick and your hand to that far corner and raise the thigh and straighten the standing leg. Raise the thigh and straighten the standing leg. And then bend your knee, take the foot to the far edge of the mat, move the brick with the hand. Trikonasana. So bend the knee, move the brick to your foot. That's it, well done. And come up. I don't think we need to do that twice. That was really good. Let's do the other side. So we are where we are, but we also know where we're trying to get to. But we want to do it without grasping. So be very clear that that far left-hand corner is where we're going to put the brick. And let's do it with as much ease as we can. So arms wide, right leg in, left leg out. Extend to the side, Trikonasana, trying to get that evenness on the left and right side. All 6 points of the feet in contact with the ground. That's the base of the posture. That's your roots. Down to the ground. Then bend your left knee and get your mind's eye on that spot and hop your right leg in and take your hand to the corner and raise your leg up. Raise the thigh. Raise the leg. Straighten the standing leg. And then to come down, you're going to bend the knee and take the foot to the far edge of the mat. Far edge of the mat. Well done. Moving the brick to. And inhale to come up. Turn your toes forwards and join your legs. Then Uttanasana, step your feet apart like we did a few moments ago. Turn your toes inwards and feel the center of your heels on the ground. Spread the ball of the foot and the toes. Then extend forwards and hold the elbows the other way than you habitually hold them. Then begin by noticing. And then after you've noticed, make any adjustments. Like lifting the thigh muscles, lifting the inner arches, lifting the inner ankles, and then feeling, are you still on all 6 points of the feet? Are the backs of the thighs spreading away from each other? Can I lengthen my waist down evenly, both sides? And in this symmetrical posture, can I breathe out evenly? And then bring your hands to your hips and firming your legs, come up. And then step your feet together. Let's move our bricks off our mat. We're going to come to Vimanasana. Vimana is an aeroplane or a chariot. And we're going to go into this posture from Warrior Two. So I'm going to show you first. So the legs are wide, the arms are wide. And then we go to Virabhadrasana 2. Thigh parallel, knee in line with the ankle. Then I'm going to turn to the side, but I'm keeping my leg where it is. So the turn comes from from the hips and from the abdomen and the chest. And I'm going to use the wall, this hand, on the wall to help the turn. So I'm now facing the right leg. Then we're going to go into the next bit. Maybe I'll show you now where we then launch forward and raise the leg up and stretch the arm, keep the arms stretching wide. But can you see I'm still holding the wall in the balance as well. So see what you've got in your room. See if you've got a bit of wall behind you, or at least a chest of drawers or something. If you don't, doesn't matter. You can actually do it with chairs, not so great. Sarah, I think for you, because the balance is quite strong, quite tiring. And anybody else, if you're feeling that you're needing more support in this pose than I just showed, you're going to turn, and then you're going to take your hands to the chair and raise your legs. So the chair helps you to be stable and it takes the weight. Yeah, so it's much easier on this standing leg. And then again, when you come down, it helps you to control the landing because the arms are controlling the landing. Okay, so have a chair there if you feel that you need that extra support for your knees or because your muscles are not activating much at the moment. Okay, so let's have a go. Back hand on the wall. Don't mind which way you face because obviously you're not going to be able to do it facing me both times. Well, maybe not actually. So stand in Tadasana, bring your hands into your chest, take your legs wide. Turn the left foot in, turn the right leg out, and Virabhadrasana 2. Bend the knee. Have the knee in line with the ankle. Just move the thigh down. Have your legs a bit wider if you can. So the thigh is parallel to the floor, Akiko. Thigh parallel to the floor. And then turn your pelvis and your chest to face the knee and place your hand on the wall to help you to turn. And then face the front again. And then again, exhale, turn to face the right leg. Good. And then bend your, reach your chest forward. Keep the hand on the wall. Reach the middle arm into the room so you're like an airplane and raise the back leg up. Stretch forwards with your chest, stretch back with your leg. Exhale and bend your leg to take the foot far back to the other side and come up and turn to face this way and join your legs. That was beautiful. That was real composure there in your flight. That was lovely to see. There was this lift off. And all because your foot was steady to the ground and you also had the wall to support you. So let's do left side. Legs wide. Right foot in, left leg out. Virabhadrasana 2. Bend your knee. Make sure the knee is in line with the ankle. Keep the body upright, so don't lean forwards. Again, what's the truth here? Let's not be squashed on this side and open on this side. Bring that evenness. Then turn your pelvis, turn your chest to face the left and hand to the wall. And back to the center. Inhale, exhale, turn again. And then reach forward, still with the hand on the wall, and raise the leg up. Body parallel to the floor, so lower the body a bit, Ike. That's it, and raise the leg up. Exhale and bend the standing leg. Take the foot down. Inhale, come up. Turn your feet forward. And bring your hands into your chest. And step or jump your legs together. Feel the center of your heels to the ground. Spread the balls of the feet. Then again, Uttanasana, this time with the feet together. So inhale, stretch up to the ceiling. Keep the outer shins in. Exhale, extend forwards and down. Then look at the knees and make sure that both knees are facing your eyeballs rather than letting one knee point in one direction, because otherwise the knees turn outwards. Don't let the knees turn away from each other. Keep them facing straight ahead, like with the toes. Exhale, Inhale, swing your arms up to the ceiling. Raise your arms up. Exhale, arms down. Good. Now grab a chair or something to sit on to do a seated twist. So sit with your feet underneath. Sorry, I was just checking the time and I couldn't remember what time we were supposed to finish. But we've got plenty of time to carry on. We've just got one more standing pose to do, and this is just going to get us into the twisting mode. So from here, feet hip width apart, our legs need to be very stable because we're going to turn. So if we turn without the stability of the legs are going to do this and the body doesn't turn so much. So keep your feet stable, keep your thighs stable, and then take your hand to your leg, take the other hand behind you, and turn to your right. And as you turn, notice what's happening to your legs. See if you can notice, as you turn, what's the tendency? So the truth is what is our tendency? When we do a twist, what's our tendency? And then the other side. So what's happening in the legs? What's the tendency of the legs? Just like when there's a really nice box of biscuits, what's the tendency of the right hand? And center. So can anyone tell me what the tendency of their legs was? Just unmute yourself and tell me.
Wow.
Yes, exactly. What did you experience, Louise?
Well, the leg I'd got my hand on was pulling in towards the other one. It wasn't resisting the move.
Excellent. So this is what we're learning, is what's our tendency so that we can then manage that. So the tendency when we turn to the left is that not only does this knee get pulled in, but, sorry, not only does this knee, well, it could get pulled in if you pulled it too much, but it rolls out, and this leg rolls out too. Because we're trying to turn, the whole lot turns, and this leg sneaks forward. So have a go, turn to your right and see, notice how the knees tend to go towards the right, and that left knee starts to roll towards the right as well. So keep them steady. So draw the left leg back, Louise. Left leg, draw it back into the hip socket. Yes, bit more, bit more, bit more. There. That's undoing the tendency in the pose. Well done. And center. And the other side. Sit to the front of the chair, Louise. Just because it will bring your waist a bit more stable. Keep your waist back so you're not arching your back. That's it. Keep the waist back. Well done. Keep the waist back and turn. And now we know the tendency is for that right knee to slide forwards. Keep the thigh back. And center. And up you come. We'll do the same thing standing. It's quite nice to have a wall behind the back hand if you can, but not essential. So the standing leg is right up at the chair and the lifted leg is at an angle. Can you see the calf has to stretch down and the foot is forward? And then hold the chair or hold the outside of the knee and turn. And now tell me, what's the tendency? What's the tendency of the left thigh? As you turn, What's the tendency of the left thigh, left hip as you turn? Turn across your leg. Right hand to your leg there, Alison. And left hand back, that's it. Turn, yeah. That's lovely, Sarah. Can you feel how that wall just helps that right shoulder to open? And then center, change legs. Try with the wall behind you this time, like this. It's really nice. Or that door frame, you can catch your hand on that door frame. Have the shin at an angle. So it's like Marichi Asana. Can you see? Like that's it. Move your shin forward. So have your standing leg closer to the chair. So the shin is forward. That's it. So it's the struggle to get the heel down almost. That's it. And now turn across your leg, everyone. And what's the tendency of that standing leg?
Bending.
Yep. I think I can unmute you all actually because there's only a few. Oh no, I can't. And then release and join your feet. Now tell me, what was the tendency of the standing leg?
Leaning forward, leaning back.
Yep.
Not definitely like not underneath the hip.
Anybody else?
I think the top inner thigh I found was tending to do something. I can't remember what now, but it was going in the wrong direction anyway.
Exactly. So this is our roots, is actions going in the wrong direction.
Mm-hmm.
And in this posture, the right direction, in order to enable a twist of the standing leg, is back. And the inner thigh needs to stay back. Because what will happen is when we turn, the whole pelvis and the thigh will swing forward and the groin will squish. So we need to keep the thigh back and the groin broad so that we turn and there's still space here. Like the line from your pelvis, pelvic bone to pelvic bone, this stays broad, standing thigh stays back, and turn. So let's have a go. So we've done this all before, but I'm just making a more obvious point. So turn across your leg. Sarah, have your standing leg closer to your chair. Why don't you have the wall behind you? It'll be much nicer for your backhand. So turn so your chair's facing me. And then turn and face me.
Like this?
Yeah. And turn. And now everyone, keep that breadth across those pelvic joints, Louise. Broaden that triangle of the lower pelvic abdomen. Don't squash. Good. And then try the other side. Do you want to try your foot a bit higher there, Alison? Do you want to put the bolster on top? Yeah. That's it. Bring your standing leg a bit closer. That's looking much better. And turn across your leg, but keep that triangle broad. Don't let it get squashed. Raise the leg and turn. And keep the standing thigh back. Keep the weight on the standing heel. And center. And lower your leg and move your chair away. So our last standing pose is a standing twist. where we are balancing. So again, this one is for fun. It's not for perfecting. So just watch here. So we face our blocks. We stretch up, bend the standing leg, reach forward, take the hand to the brick and other hand is to the wall. And then I raise this leg up like we did before. But this time, this side of the body goes down and this side of the body goes up. And if you can let go of the wall, let go of the wall. And what you'll notice is that the more that you turn, the heavier the leg is. So you need to ease off the turn to lift the leg, and then keeping the leg lifted, bring on the turn. And then use the wall to give you balance to come down. So it's a perfect example of balancing different parts of the body to make a whole. So did you see my hand was on the right side? So the hand comes down here like that. So because if I had the hand here, I'd be out of balance. It's here and then up, okay? So if it's going to confuse you, why don't we? So you're facing your blocks. Your right leg is going to be forward, so you need your right hand is going to touch the wall. So turn so that your right hand is near the wall. Perfect. Yep, that's it, Alison. That's it, Louise. Great. Alison, just step back a bit on your mat. And then everyone bring your hands to your hips. Press that back heel down. And you press the center of the front heel and the 2 points on the ball of the foot. That's going to be your balancing leg. So make it really steady and broad. Inhale and reach up to the ceiling. Then bend your knee, and as you reach forward, take your right hand to the wall and your left hand to your brick. And raise your leg up and keep your leg up and go down with the left shoulder and up with the right shoulder. And keep the leg up and then turn your chest some more. Then bend your standing leg and carefully bring your foot down and come up the way you went in. And arms down and join your feet. Really good, well done. Let's do the other side. So with your left foot forward, your left hand is going to be touching the wall. Okay, and the block is over on the right side of your mat. So hands to your hips. Left foot forward, bring the weight onto that right heel. You could be a bit further from the wall even, Sarah. Just move to the other edge of your mat, because then you've got more space to hold that radiator. Spread the ball of that left foot to have all 3 points evenly pressed down. Let that be your root down into the soil. Inhale and stretch up from that foot all the way up to your fingertips and reach forwards. Take your left hand to the wall and right hand down onto that brick. You could lower the brick a bit there, Kiko, and bend the knee to raise the leg up. And keeping the thigh up, Ike, thigh up, turn. Well done. Not too high, thigh stays up and turn. Then the more you turn, the heavier the leg becomes. So press the thigh up a bit more. And turn your chest with your hand on the wall to turn your chest. And then bend your standing leg and looking down at the floor, step back and come up. Raise the arms and bring them down and step your feet together. Then Uttanasana. So just watch a second. We're going to reach back beyond the feet and then up. If you're feeling stiffer than that, or that's not going to be good for your back, you can do the same pose with your feet hip width apart. If you're feeling really tired already and want to do a supported forward bend now instead, then do that. So squeeze those outer shins in, lift the frontal thighs up, inhale, reach up to the sky, exhale all the way down, hands behind the feet. Inhale all the way up to the ceiling, 3 times. Exhale all the way down beyond your feet. Head right in and continue 1 more time. Breathing and moving. And Tadasana. Wonderful, well done. Let's come to sitting now. We're going to do a seated forward bend. So I'm giving more space for my knees at the moment, so I'm sitting on 2 bricks, but you might be able to, 2 blocks, but you might be able to sit on the floor or just 1, and then have bricks for your hands. Have a belt as well. Sit in Dandasana. Press the hands down beside your feet, beside your hips. Spread the soles of your feet in front. Feel both of your sitting bones evenly on the support you're sitting on. So again, we're in a symmetrical posture. But within this symmetrical posture, look at your legs and notice what is actually not symmetrical, or perhaps more to the point, where there's the bends and the curves. So bring the outer shins in. Then take your belt, buckle it, and place it around your shins. The middle, so find the fattest point, the widest point of your shin, and place the belt there. And don't have the buckle on the skin. And then spread your feet and press your hands down by your side. And can you stretch your heels away from you and spread the ball of the foot, so all 6 points are spreading. But now notice with the belt, there's more evenness in the line of the bones of the leg. The structure is more aligned. Good. Then we're coming into Paschimottanasana first before we do Triangulmukha Ekapada. So from here with the belt on the legs. If you're got spinal issues and need to have the feet apart, then do that. Otherwise, we're going to stretch up and then sucking the legs back into the hips, extend your trunk forwards and take your hands to the blocks. Look at the feet and check that they're not distorted. Look at the legs and see that the knees are both pointing straight up towards you. And suck the thighs back into the hip, deepening the groins. Trying to bring an evenness to the body as much as possible. And then breathing out and breathing in. Draw those shoulder muscles back towards your waist, but lengthen your armpits towards your hands. And then inhale and lift your face, your chest to come up and take your belt off. So the props are actually little teachers. They help us to bring evenness to what we're doing. So fold your right leg back into Virasana and feel how your pelvis is level. So that brings an evenness as we stretch up into Urdhva Hastasana and as we stretch forward into Triangulmukha Ekapada, Paschimottanasana. Make sure that that right knee doesn't roll inwards when you go into the pose anytime from now. Make sure that right inner knee doesn't drop down, that the thigh is level. And what can you see about that left foot? What's its tendency? Its tendency is to roll out. Exactly, well done. So now that you've noticed, gently coax it to be upright. And you can ask for the help of the thigh and the hip. It's not just the foot's job. So grip the left hip in and move the right inner knee down, and they are helping the foot to be upright. So it might look like it's the foot's fault, but the whole leg and hip are involved. Exhale, inhale and come up. Arms down, change legs. So the beauty is in the learning, not in the getting it perfectly right. Inhale, stretch up. I'm watching you guys. I'm not sitting over there. And extend forward. I have to come right close to the screen to be able to see, because you're about 2 inches high. I had a dream once that I was teaching little people. That was a Zoom fatigue, I think. Lengthen forwards. So yeah, if that leg is rolling out a lot, take the foot all the way to the edge of the mat, and then it will roll in much more easily. And lengthen your side body forward. Exhale, feel that evenness with your body. Reach the hands beyond the feet on those bricks if you can. Draw the trapezius to the waist. what's happening to that left knee. Make sure the leg's not sliding wide. And then inhale to come up. And release the arms down. And straighten out the leg. Then Virasana, both legs bent. So create space behind the knee. So again, one has to be really careful because there's no point in thinking, oh, I'm doing yoga because I want to be spiritual, but that we're not taking care of how we place our legs, and we actually end up hurting our knees. How spiritual is that? So that's kind of the truth about how we are, our attitude. So place a belt behind the knee if you need to. And then stretch forward. Rest your forehead on a brick. And once your body's released, you may be able to rest the forehead lower. And close your eyes. And as you breathe in, feel your back nice and broad. Feel your back broadening as you breathe in. And then inhale to come up. Then we're coming into Setu Bandha. So if you've got, you can have a brick or 2 or 3 foam pads. If you've got a brick, you're placing it spine-wise on the sacrum. And then you're going to take your feet to the wall. You may be able to take the feet slightly lower down onto the skirting. But the trick is that have the feet apart so you've got a bit of space. And then you've got to press the thighs down, but try not to tip the brick. So you get this openness in the pelvis and a spread in the chest. And you'll feel all the spine lengthening and moving into the body. So 2 or 3 foam pads will be plenty for you, Alison and Sarah. But if you want to work with a brick, it's going to be spine-wise, right down here low on the sacrum, not up here on the shorts level, but much lower down in the pants area. So just out of interest, does Jackie encourage a soft, slidey support under the shoulders?
No.
She doesn't, because some people. So maybe just move that out of the way. Yeah. Because some people do say we should be doing bridge pose without a mat at all, but then I find the shoulders slide too much. But if you wanted to create more space for your neck, you'd have the blanket under your shoulders, but not your neck. So it would be like a shoulder stand setup. Feel as you straighten your legs, your spine is nestling into your body and the front of your body is opening. Notice the evenness of this symmetrical posture. And Kiko, try to get onto the tops of the shoulders. There, that's it. Toes to the ceiling. Throat soft. And then savor these moments of harmony when you've done the actions to bring an evenness in body and mind. Then let's savor and relish the moments of evenness and peace. And then exhaling, bend your knees to rest your feet down. Lift your hips up higher than the blocks to then lift and move the blocks out of the way to come down. Rest the feet apart and the knees together. And allow your abdomen to sink and soften towards the floor. And then enlist the help of your friend, the out-breath, so that as you breathe out, your abdomen moves down towards the floor. And this soothing out-breath brings a breadth to the lower back and a calm quietness. To the abdomen. Like a stream as it trickles past a rock. The water just sweeps around the rock and down. Like that, the groins are soft and flowing around the legs. And then roll to your side to come up. And we'll go into Sarvangasana, shoulder stand. So we've only got a few minutes for shoulder stand. So once you've set up, go into plow pose and then kick up into shoulder stand. If you need to have support for your feet because you can't take your feet onto the floor, you can put a chair there or have a sofa there. So take your 4 foam pads, and if you're not doing shoulder stand today, then you can do Viparita Karani, whereby you're at the wall and you place the blocks under the pelvis so that again you have this sense of the water in a clear pool up here, framed by the pelvis and the ribs. And then it flows down to the chest and out to the shoulders and down to the hands. And then you'll stretch the legs straight up. And then at any time, if your back starts to drop, then you can rest your feet to the wall. So that's for those who are not doing shoulder stand. So Sarah, if you feel that you've done a lot this evening, so you may want to do Viparita Karini now with the feet on the wall. Feel free to do that if you want to. Listen to what's right for you. And then the others go up into Sarvangasana. Have a launch pad under your buttocks so that when you go up, there's no jerking. So again, let there not be a kind of violent action of jerking as you go up. Have a launch pad, a bolster or blocks under the buttocks so that there's a smoothness from the beginning. Like, you know, like when we knock on the door of a friend's house. And it's kind of a new thing for us again, isn't it? So trying to have that smooth beginning. Yep, perfect there, Alison. And have your head on the floor and put your bolster on top of your mat as a launch pad. Yep, that way. Perfect. So your bum is on the bolster and your shoulders are on the blocks and your head is on the floor. Be a little bit more, that's it. Relax your throat and notice what's happening in your body and make any adjustments to bring an evenness. So perhaps one leg is turning out more than the other. So turn the legs so they're together and the feet are stretching up and spreading evenly. Then look at the soles of the feet. And maybe your little toes are higher than your big toes. So stretch up your big toes more so that if your feet were on the ceiling, you'd be pressing the heels into the wall, into the ceiling, and those 2 points across the balls of the feet. Good, much better. Then feel how that clarity in the legs and the feet affects the whole posture. Ascend up as the shoulders and forearms press down. Thighs back. And with your next out breath, come down. Come down with an evenness with whatever method you're choosing. Good. Then slide back so your shoulders are just catching over the edge of the blocks. And you get this nice openness in your chest. And then keep sliding till your buttocks are on the floor. And then roll over to your side to come up. And we'll go into Shavasana now. So lie down in the center of your mat and take just as much care in this posture of rest as in the postures that are working, so that we are practicing ability in our daily life to put effort into nurturing and nourishing ourselves as much as into productivity. And then straighten out your legs and release them. If your back is at all comfortable and you need to release it some more, then you could have a rolled up blanket under your knees. Or if your back is really not comfortable, you could have your feet on a chair. Let your legs release and your arms release, and feel this evenness in your body. And then feel how this evenness of your body is bringing an evenness in your inhalation and your exhalation. Then see if you can rest your attention on this evenness of your body and the evenness of your inhalations and your exhalations. Steady and stable. Allow the back of your body to sink down into the ground as if roots are growing out through the back of your body, down into the ground, traveling underground in the soil. Plugging you back in to the source of nourishment. staying connected to the source. Gently bring your attention back out to the surface of your skin, becoming aware of the room that you're in once again. And then rest your hands on your abdomen. And roll to your right side, resting your head on your right arm and the left hand on the floor in front of you. And then press your hand down into the ground to bring yourself up to sitting, bringing your head up last. Fold your palms. Let your legs rest down. Allow your spine to be balanced, connecting the earth to the sky. And inhale, lifting your heart up. Savor this moment and drink it in. And bow your head to your heart in gratitude for this practice that has been passed on to us from many realized people. May we continue to learn and grow together. And rest your hands, raise your head up. Namaste. Have a lovely evening, everyone. Early dinner tonight, now that we finish at 7. So I hope you have a hearty meal and a great evening, and I'll see you soon. Have a lovely weekend.
Thanks everyone. Thanks
Tara.
all.
Take care.
Travel safe to Horseshoe. Thank you for the class. Could I ask you quickly about the Setu Bandha? I guess it's just because it's just my habit, and I think I should be aware more. But I guess it's because of you don't want the throat to be pressed, right? Yeah, I just want to confirm that.
Yeah, but I also, the reason why I ask you is because I'm only going with what my view is, but there may be another view which is valid. And that's why I asked whether you've been taught that by somebody and what their reasoning was.
No, they don't. That's that's just like, oh, it's just that habit that I did sometime when I learned it. I should be aware that the throat shouldn't be, because the throat will get pressed, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you have any idea what kind of thought leads you to doing it?
I think it's just softening the skull really. So I feel like more like kind of like my neck can be lengthened a little bit more when my scalp is not, like the back of the skull not pressing a hard floor. But yeah, I do see the point. If it's actually too thick, then it could press the throat in, and that could cause some pressure there, which is, I think it will break the Jala Grandaba. Oh, Jesus Christ, I can't say that word now.
Jalan
Jalandhara
Dara
Bandha.
Bandha. So if you break it into 3, Jalan Dara, as in da. It would be, you could say it Dara, but it's actually da. The H is aspirant.
Ah, Jalan Banda. Thank you.
Banda, ba. Jalan Dara Banda.
Banda.
Keng Reng.
Thank you.
Um,
Yeah, I'll text you later. I need to ask you for the invocation about the guru. So I think it's probably in your share folder. I'll check first. If I can't find it, I'll text you.
oh,
Because I think you sent it to Nina once, so it must be in there.
yes, I haven't looked at that Google thing for ages because after we stopped with Nina, I thought, well, maybe the Google is not such a great idea. Maybe it put her off.
I thought I'm gonna write journal in there. So if you, I'm keeping my Google Drive. I can share with you anyway. But yeah, I will check there first. If it's not there, I'll ask you because the Guru invocation I kind of familiar with, but another one I can't remember, like Sitya. One day I might need to ask you for that. But anyway,
Yeah, that's right. There's the teacher-student prayer.
Yeah.
Sahana Vavatu, that one.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I will ask you. I think I can't find that anyway, but don't worry about it. You take your, please, have a good rest before.
Oh, here it is. Yeah, it's in this folder.
Cool. I will definitely jump there. So no worry. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah.
I'll see you later, and yeah, please enjoy the class tonight as well. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm not there tonight. I'm there on 24th.
Okay. So you're
Just monthly for now.
Okay. Thank you anyway.
Take care. Night.
Bye.
Bye.